Hi, my name is Jane Scarf and I'm coming to you from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. And I'm actually feeling pretty positive right now because it looks to me like, the plans for one world order, dominance of everything, blah, blah, blah. It looks like the planning is not going so well. Most people are not falling for their tactics. And I'm so relieved because they have developed many insidious methods of controlling the public over the years, and they have gotten away with enormous atrocities because of it. But people have caught on. A significant number of people have caught on. And the freedom movement itself has played a major role in that. Because the bottom line is, this is not an old-fashioned war where you go to, you go out with your guns and so on. This is a mind game, a massive mind game. And the mind game is convincing you that you're not the sovereign, convincing you that their laws rule, that they are kings and queens of the universe, and that we are subjects. Well, nothing could be further from the truth. The natural, logical, unavoidable fact is we are born sovereign, and we have every right that we have by virtue of being born human. And over the years, we have figured out how to set the boundaries for the government. And the way we did that is the establishment of our rights, codifying them, spelling them out, discussing them through the various court cases that have happened over the years. And they are now trying to flip the script, like the people are sovereign. Actually, if you go back to bare bones, who made the system in the first place? Every system, since the beginning of time. Who made that system? We the people make the system. So the system is a fiction, it's a creation of the people. So how can it have power over us unless we believe that it does? So that's what their job is to pretend as though they have power over us. So that's the mind game. The basic, ongoing, all the dramatics they do is to make you believe that they have all the power, all the evil that they do, and show you that how extensive it is and it's beyond your control. All the different things. They're after your kids, they're setting fires everywhere, all these different things, and showing you all the corrupt, people that are in their pocket, like the corrupt media and the corrupt politicians, all that, and then they go, see, we got the might, we got the power. Wrong. They're still like Wizard of Oz in the machine, trying to make you think that they're bigger and stronger and smarter than they are. So we can derail that, no problem, just by thinking about it, thinking about each thing that you're seeing, and analyzing, and that's the way you do it. So we're just going to talk about one item today, and this is a tactic they use, and it's called astroturfing. Astroturfing is the deceptive practice of presenting an orchestrated marketing or public relations campaign in the guise of unsolicited comments from members of the public. Okay, so what I see happening right now, in the moment, is people have caught on to 15-minute cities. So that makes a big problem for these Pinky in the Brain people that are trying to make a plot to take over the whole world. So we gotta do something about that. So let's send some trained people in that have, they've been with us for a long time, and they're very dedicated to the UN agenda, reduce population and consumption, and, create a hierarchy, no more democracy, blah, blah, blah. Very dedicated to that. So they're trained, and totally mindset on supporting this one world government. So they pay them, train them and pay them to go in the community, and they give them resources. They always have enough money to put in a really expensive, well-oiled website, and they have lots of money for material and for physical locations. Like right now, there's these very elaborate, expensive space just materializing out of nowhere for this, what I call astroturfing, to take place. And what they're putting out to people is, you have no constitution, you have no Bill of Rights. UN has all the power now because of Mulroney signing an agreement with the UN that basically undermined Canadian sovereignty entirely. So you have to now, and they've cut us out of the process. Even our own councillors on the city level are not consulting with us. So we have to get organized, they put out. And people are like, yeah, we got to get organized, which we do, but not down that bunny trail. So then they say the next thing is that they want to have town hall meeting. They're independent ones, like not the real town hall meetings like at City Hall, but in the community. So in these expensive spaces that they've been acquired suddenly, they're going to have these town hall meetings, and they want people that are objecting to 15-minute cities and have feedback about it and so on. And they're told, and there's many intelligent people in the community, and this feedback from them needs to be heard in through the system. So you come to these town hall meetings, and you'll make your complaints like, well, I don't want to live in and lose my car, and lose my whole autonomy, blah blah blah, and whatever else you're going to say. So then the theory they put forward is they're going to invite councillors to these community, which they're trying to present as grassroots, but they're not grassroots. It's astroturfing. It's fake. Okay, so then supposedly when they're finished this process, then the councillors can go back and join the international law-making process that's taking place that's related to these issues, and give feedback. Doesn't even look like our councils are even going to have a vote in that process. So they're not going back, saying, well, we're going to lobby all our councillors and make sure that they go back and vote in our interest. They're just going back with some ideas that we gave them when they came to these town hall meetings. But what they're doing simultaneously, they're trying to tell you and convince you that these structures, these structures have NGOs in them, and they're acting like this is an international structure that's going to make our laws, and that we have to lobby, like beg them, like, please don't lock us in 15-minute cities. We don't want that. Well, these laws are counterfeit. These international laws do not apply in Canada. We did not authorize any of our executives of the government to sign any agreements to totally give away our rights. And if they did it, it doesn't mean that they're gone. There's who's the arbitrator? Like this is what we live by, is our Constitution and our Bill of Rights and our other, structures that we have in place. And none of the government executives have the authority to just toss that away. And I guess I should put in here a concept that made things clear to me. William Keats has been doing some videos on the Magna Carta, and in his explanation he says that either it's one way or another. It can't be both, or it can't be some combination. So either the state has all the power and control, or the people have all the power and control. And you can't have a mixture of it because there's no independent arbitrator. So it's got to be all one way or all the other way. And before Magna Carta, it was all it was the monarchy, like in our history, and they had all the power and control. The people had no influence on laws or anything, and everything was in the interest of the king and the interest of, you know, the royalty and all of that, and everybody else be damned. But the noblemen at that time had enough, and they went to the king and they said, if you want to remain to be the king, then you need a tuning here. The people are sovereign, and we need you to acknowledge that and promise to respect the articles in Magna Carta, which will assist in maintaining this autonomy and this sovereignty of the people. And the king, okay, I agree. And he swore to God that he agreed to, that he was making a promise to agree to respect these principles into perpetuity. Okay, so we didn't get past perpetuity yet, still here. So the principles expressed there are still valid, and the entire context of that is really our basic constitution, and anything that comes later in the way of laws have to respect those basic fundamental principles. So what they're doing here now completely disregards that. Like the lawmaking process, that's not democratic. We're not part of it. They're shooting our juries off to the side rapidly, especially in Canada, and all kinds of other ways and means that they're removing that. So that's what you got to think, right? We are the sovereign. Like, even if they did change it and made a law that said, no, you're not the sovereign, we are still the sovereign. We create the system. Like, we are the sovereign. God created us with full rights and sovereignty. So no matter what. But right now, we are the sovereign, and common law, which we are still a common law country, fully acknowledges that. Fully. So this is what the game they're playing. They're trying to trick you into thinking you're not sovereign. And when you do think you're not sovereign, you're going to act differently. Like, you're going to, like, oh, I got to go to the town hall meeting and somehow, you know, make my voice be heard in this international, you know, like, legal structure that's going to pass laws down on me. Like, if you believe that, you are captured. And if everybody believes that at the end of the day, we're done. And what difference does it make if we have a constitution and a Bill of Rights if we think, oh, well, they don't have any legal basis anymore, so I guess I'm a slave. Like, don't go there. And don't head down the bunny trail after these astroturfers. If they're trying to tell you that you don't have sovereignty and your constitution is no good and you have no rights, because we have rights whether we have legal rights or not, but we have rights and legal rights that are still in full effect. The Canadian Bill of Rights has been working recently on the record. Like, it's been working to get charges dropped. Like we can't even keep up with the number of charges dropped because of it. But now, on the record, Dave Freedom won 2 bail hearings regarding the freedom of speech. So our laws are still there, they're still valid, and the court is still respecting our rights. But there's many sort of facets to the game they're playing. But today we're talking about astroturfing. Do not go astroturfing. And that doesn't mean that you shouldn't organize, but don't organize within a context of victimism and servitude. You know, that we have to go over here and have a discussion, and then maybe the councillors will come and maybe they'll hear us, and maybe when they go back to the international structure, they'll be able to say what the people want. Well, as if they don't realize that nobody wants a 15-minute city. You'd have to be, you know, screwed in the brain to want a 15-minute city. So, like, what are we doing there, right? We're gonna, like, spit in the wind is what that is. Like, let's all spit in the wind. And what good's that going to do at the end of the day? We're recommending something different. We're recommending that anybody that's voted for this 15-minute city without consultation of the public, sue them. That's breach of duty. They have a fiduciary duty. to handle their duties, their political duties with respect to our interests. And in a democracy, the only way they can do that is to consult with us meaningfully and then go back to the table and vote in such a way as to reflect what we want. Okay, if they're not doing that, they're not doing their duty. And if they're not doing their duty, sue them. And that's not pie in the sky either, because you can use small claims court. So if you have, a multitude of people going, hey, what the hell did you vote for that 15-minute city for? Go and take some steps to withdraw your support of that motion that was passed, or you're getting it personally. And not out of the public purse either. We're recommending that these people be sued personally, because by doing that, they breach their duty, so they no longer have the protection of immunity because of being a government agent, because they're acting outside their authority when they act against you. Okay, so they can be personally responsible. Ronsorelli versus Duplessis. If you read that case law, it says these officials can be held personally accountable. So these are the kinds of actions we can do. So if you hear communities getting organized and they're doing something productive in terms of addressing these actions that are being taken against us, go for it. That's grassroots. That's real. That's grassroots. The other stuff, astroturf.